Welcome back, Nerd Boxers, to the final chapter in our Stu's Clues game. Did you find any clues that might have been missed? Before concluding our game, be sure to stab the like button. And then you need to subscribe, and maybe I will let Dave and Jen return to this show. In our final episode of Stu's Clues, we learn that the disciples of Ghostface are operating stronger than ever before. We meet Jason, who kills his first victim, but then finds his partner Greg's body in the fridge. They were sloppy and had to be dealt with by another Ghostface. His dying words are about finishing Richie's movie. Just like Richie, he made it about something else.
But we have to finish the movie.
It was getting harder to find Sydney, but there was still a way. But first, some loose ends had to be tied up, because Sam and Tara have become the new heroes in his story, and no one changes his story. It just so happens that those loose ends and Gail are in the same city. After a few bodies are found and the attack in the bodega, Kirby arrives in New York. She now works for the FBI. She reveals something we have known for years.
Special Agent Kirby Reed, FBI. I work out of the Atlanta office.
You lost.
Your two Vics were residents of my city before they moved here for college. I have been investigating their online activity for the past few months.
Why?
They take a special interest in Ghostface attacks.
However, as we can clearly see on the crime board, Stu is dead, or is he? Because as Kirby talks about the killers and their connections to the Carpenter sisters, her facial expression changes from one of confidence to concern, as she stares in the direction of Billy and Stu's pictures. As things begin to unfold, we can see that Stu's influence and direction becomes more evident when they fake Quinn's death and stage the crime scene with a fake body. Not only did Billy and Stu attempt this, but then having Stu's own murder covered up by his parents, he would be able to advise on how to do it. With Ethan being in department, and the possibility that his father was on the clock, working, this Ghostface is likely to be Stu, because when Ghostface stabs Annika, he drives the knife into her stomach, and begins to cut upwards like he would have done to Casey and Dewey. The next morning, Dale leads everyone to the shrine of Ghostface, where it is filled with the evidence from all of the murders, along with some fan art. There are a few things to take note of here. In Principal Hembry's case, we see a drawing of Hembry lying on the floor after he was stabbed, but Hembry's body was discovered hanging from the flagpole.
No. Listen up. They found Principal Henry dead. He was gutted and hung from the goalpost on the football field.
And then we see a drawing of Sydney practicing for her play at Windsor College. How would these two little details be known by Richie? They wouldn't be. Only Hembry's killer would know, and only a person watching in the shadows at the college. That would mean it would have to be the same person, so the only person who would know the details would be Stu. Also, one key piece of evidence missing, or maybe it is replaced. Stu's sweater is not in the shrine, but his smoking jacket is. Now, for the majority of Stu's party, he is wearing his smoking jacket, meaning all of his guests would have seen him wearing that over his sweater instead of just seeing him wear the sweater, making it more plausible for people to look back and say, yeah, that is what Stu was wearing. So he must be dead because it's with other evidence. Mindy is sitting in front of the TV when Kirby sits down behind her. Stu becomes the topic of conversation before Kirby quickly changes topic.
TV that killed Stu Macher.
If you believe he's dead.
I hear you're a horror fan.
It's been said.
Notice the expression on Kirby's face when Mindy responds. It is similar to the one at the police station, and it would appear that she is no longer sure herself. With the FBI, Kirby would have never seen Stu's body because she was too young, so she can only go by what is told to her, and this is why she has no rebuttal from Mindy. Because deep down inside, she isn't sure. Just like Sydney wasn't when she spoke to Ghostface in Hollywood. You're not hearing things? How do you know I'm not someone in your head? Somewhere you know.
Don't come here, Sydney!
Stewie!
Or do you?
You're dead.
And just like Randy seemed to.
Why are you even here, Randy? You'll never be the leading man.
Fuck you!
No matter how hard you try, you'll never be the hero, and you'll never, ever get the girl.
And why Dewey went back for the headshot.
The head.
What?
You have to shoot him in the head, or they always come back.
Dewey, who gives a fuck?
I do.
No, Dewey!
They each knew that something seemed familiar. If you have seen Dave and Jen's previous video on House to Survive, you will know that they debunked how the weight of the TV and that their electricity could have killed him. But they didn't know about this next clue. The TV is smashed in, and unless Stu's head exploded, that would not have happened. In fact, if you take a baseball bat to the tube, it will not break, nor with a sledgehammer. Dropping the TV tube down will not even shatter it. Now see, this TV was damaged after it was recovered from Stu's house, and the only reason that would be done is to help create evidence of his death. The most damning clues to Stu's death being a cover-up comes at Gail's apartment, where there are two Ghostfaces inside. Remember, Ethan and his father are at the park. Their only ride to get to Gail is with Kirby in the surveillance van. One Ghostface calls her on the phone to distract her while the other kills her boyfriend. This Ghostface has direct knowledge of never having talked to her before, something only a killer who has been there from the beginning would know, almost as if they had planned out how each scene would play out in Stu's sequel. Like Ghostface did with Randy and Sydney, his conversation is about the past and how she has benefited from it. Don't you know the legacy characters are disposable now? Nobody cares about last century's heroes.
And why bother with me at all?
Call it nostalgia. Or maybe you deserve to be punished for all that money you made off the misery of others. Maybe it's time someone made a buck reporting your death. But he can only get so personal as he did not grow up with Gail. So he brings up Dewey, which would be his only weapon against her. And while describing his death, he chuckles for a moment. How does it feel to lose the only man who ever loved you?
Fuck you!
How does it feel to know that you weren't there for him at the end? Not there to give him comfort as he died screaming in his own gut.
You're the one who's gonna die screaming.
And out of all our killers, only Stu indulged in the pleasures of watching his victims squirm. Only he gave subtle clues that he was the killer, like at the fountain. Stu wanted fame while Billy wanted revenge. After Gail's boyfriend is tossed through the bookcase, we see Ghostface step out from behind it, wiping the blood from the knife, like only Stu has done in the past. This would be Stu too, because how would Quinn throw a lifeless body like that? Ghostface chases Gail through the apartment. She manages to get the upper hand by getting her gun, shooting him through the door and causing him to flee. Gail goes to find him. She thinks he is hiding, only for Ghostface to spring out, knock her to the ground, and do something we haven't seen any other Ghostface with the exception to one. And that is clasp the knife in both hands while raising their arms into the air to deliver one last fatal blow.
Fuck you!
Just like Stu did when he attacked Billy to fake his death, and also when he attacked Sydney in her home. We know it was Stu attacking Sydney because he says easy, easy while running up the steps. just like when he was in school and Tatum hit him in the head with her lollipop.
Stupidity leak.
Easy.
Sydney.
Didn't hear it? Listen closely as I play it again, with the vocals turned up. Our final clues are out of pure speculation and come in the shrine where the students try to emulate their teacher. First is after Chad is attacked by two Ghostfaces. We see them both turn towards Sam and Tara to wipe their knives clean, just like Stu did when he attacked Billy to fake his death. Quinn also tries to spin the knife in her hand like Stu would have done when attacking Tara and killing Judy and Dewey, only she does it in reverse. And finally, Quinn is wearing Stu's mask, who she reveals to be her favorite. Could he mean something more to her? Could Stu have charmed his way into a relationship with her, and used that as a way to manipulate the entire family? I guess we will have to wait and see how this story unfolds. Found something we missed? Let us know in the comments. If you want more Scream content, check out Nerdbox's behind the scenes, theories, Easter egg videos, and more. Until we meet again, Nerdboxers, sleep tight and be careful of who you trust.